Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the man who can't. The Sydney Comedy Store proudly presents the bent man of comedy himself, Mr. Steady Eddy.
Can I have a little more on the bass, thank you? Oh, God. I love being a spastic. Let's face it, it's got its advantages. I can always get a seat on the bus. Yeah, but the driver always gets pissed off, hey? Or I can even get a car space at the local shopping centre. That's if you bastards haven't taken it already. But the best thing about being disabled is I can go to a party, sit on one beer all night and still look like I've had a great time. But I tell you, there are a few disadvantages of being disabled, like trying to get medical insurance. I walked into this medical insurance office the other day and said, "Listen, mate, I need some medical coverage." He said, "Sorry, son, you've got a pre-existing condition." I said, "No shit, Sherlock." I said, "You got two choices here. You either cover me, or three of my mates are coming around with baseball bats and giving you a pre-existing condition." He covered me in the highest bracket. Of course he would. Now if I'm ever hit by a truck, I'll be a total vegetable. But unless I'm covered, eh? Oh, God. I tell you, there's a few other advantages of being famous as well. You get invited to all these great places like the snow. I got invited to a chalet, and I decided to go skiing. At Mount Krakenback. The ski instructor looked at me and said, "There's two basic rules of skiing. Keep your knees bent and wait forward." I was a bloody genius, wasn't I? But there are some disadvantages. I've got to tell you, because I should be a millionaire at the moment. After all, I taught Michael Jackson how to dance. And Joe Cocker. Actually, we made Joe Cocker our honorary spastic. I said, "So Joe, how do you feel about this prestige honour?" He looked at me and went, Actually, Joe and I went to the same speech therapist together. Lucky it worked for me, eh? I tell you this, I've had a really great time the last 10 months or so. I've been travelling all around Australia, and I've been to the really big towns like Moree, Pinaroo, Bordertown, Ningen. Oh, Ningen, mate. It keeps on flooding there, right? I think God's trying to say something. Piss off. Move. And look, I've stayed in heaps of hotels, right? And I've always wondered, why do they always give you cakes of soap this big? Now, when I've got a cake of soap that big at home, I chuck the bloody thing away. Now I know where they go. And you know, you're in the shower with this pissy little thing, right? And you're washing yourself down and everything, and then... motels are so funny. Like, I stayed in one in Melbourne, and after 8:30 at night, it's got a security door, so you have to use a key. Now that's all right for you guys, not for me. By the time I put the key in, turned it back, took it out, bloody door shut. I was there for 3 hours going. The only thing I got was concussion. But travelling is so great. And I've been overseas. I went to Thailand and I did the typical thing on the trip over. I got absolutely shit-faced. And have you ever had those escalators, right? Where the stairs keep on going, but the handrail stops? So here's me going. My feet are 4 steps in front of me. My bags and shoes have already made it to the bottom. And this Thai security guard looks at me and goes, "Honda ahata hota hata." I said, "Yeah." Does that come with fries? You know, when you're in a foreign country, you've got to adopt a family. Well, my family were Thai poppy farmers. God, they threw good parties. And the mushroom omelettes on Sundays were sensational. Thailand is such a great place, but there's one thing I don't like about it, is the toilets. I mean, their idea of a toilet is a round porcelain bowl in the ground. In other words, you have to squat. There's just some things I should not attempt. I was there for 2 weeks. And when I got back to Australia, right, I had to appear on TV. And TV has done wonders for my career. I sold twice as many pens on the weekend. I mean, at this rate, I'll have enough money to buy a new wheelchair with bumper stickers. Like, my other wheelchair is a wheelchair. Or bumper stickers like, I'd rather be walking. Or maybe wheelies make better lovers. Because they just keep on pushing. Actually, I was making love to this girl in a wheelchair the other day. We started at Surfers Paradise. We ended up at Bondi Beach. Stupid bitch forgot to put the brakes on. also love going to parties. It's really great bumping into old friends. We even have our own party games, like hide and wait. Pin the artificial limb on the donkey. Or maybe snakes and ramps. But I got to tell you, my personal favourite is disabled Monopoly. Pass go, collect the pension. Build a halfway house on Mayfair. I was at this party one night and a guy came up to me and said, mate, I'll bet you $200 you can't beat me at this game. I said, son, don't even try. No one ever beats me at Twister. I remember one party I went to was a beach party. Well, it was more like a bloody safari. Have you ever tried to dig a wheelchair out of sand? With nothing more than a walking stick? I mean, one guy we had to leave there overnight. Came back the next day and he won first prize in his sandcastle competition. For the most realistic sculpture. Speaking of wheelchairs, you know, I've got to tell you, when I was at school, I had a few mates in wheelchairs and I was a real bastard to them. I used to do horrible things like disconnect my mate's electric wheelchair while he was on a hill. And I used to play our favourite game, hide the artificial leg. Gee, me mate get hopping mad. And my teachers were the best. They used to say, Steady, you're disabled. Very intelligent they were. They said you've got to be inconspicuous to fit into the mainstream of society. Every morning a bus would come to pick me up with spastics in a written down sign. That's pretty inconspicuous, eh? I'll tell you, but in my younger days, my favourite thing was I used to go to the entertainment centre and borrow a mate's wheelchair. Because let's face it, he always got the best seat in the house. And you could always tell the Christians at the concert because they started screaming miracle when I got up to take a piss. I suppose I should, at this point, tell you a bit about my family. Because it's a very weird family. Like, my mother's blind, my father's deaf, I'm cerebral palsy, but my sister, well, she's the only black sheep of the family. She was completely normal. We had to put her in a home. And my grandmother, she was an epileptic. God, she made good chocolate cakes. And my great-great-great-great-grandfather actually came out here on the First Fleet, convict Steadwood Edward. Now, I've got to tell you, he was transported for stealing an artificial leg. God, he was a good pickpocket. He would have got away with it too, but he left his artificial hand in the guy's back pocket. go on to me love life because I got to talk about this. Yeah, I tell you, since I appeared on TV, I have been getting a lot of letters. Mind you, most of them being from Social Security. They want my pension back. But the others have been concerned about my love life. Now, I've got a very high-powered sex drive. I just need someone else to work the gear stick. And you've heard of the missionary position? Missionary. And what special school are you from? Yeah, most people use the missionary side. Not me, mate. I use a stationary position. And I love foreplay. 1, 2, 3, 4, ready! But it is actually hard for me to find a girl that actually suits me. Oh, another genius in the audience. Yeah, it is. I see a beautiful girl walking down the street and I think to myself, if only she had a limp. But I did have one long-term relationship with a beautiful girl named Lucy. But it turned out she was only going out with me to get an easy car space at the supermarket. I had another girlfriend, her name was Fiona. She was only going out with me for my body. She was training to be a mortician. So I thought, I've definitely got to improve my sex life here. So I read the Kama Sutra. No good to me. I get in those positions just putting my socks on. And people are always asking me, Steady, when are you going to stop telling disabled jokes? I said, when they find a bloody cure. I've been going around to different places lately, as I said before, and I walked into Westfields the other day, and I saw the disabled parking, disabled car spaces, you know, disabled ramps. But I got to the fire escapes. And you bastards put stairs. What are you trying to say? Got to ask you a question. Have you ever noticed at traffic lights, when you see a special bus, that everyone in it is going like this? We do it on purpose. Just to piss you guys off. I mean, when you're not looking, we sit up straight and suck back the dribble. I've got to tell you this before I go any further. One of the reasons why the video's being cut tonight is I'm off in March to America. I just got a 2-year contract with Warner Brothers. as a stunt double for the Thunderbirds. Have you heard the latest with the government? I just remembered this, that they've introduced the anti-discrimination bill for disabled people. Now, normally politics doesn't interest me, because last time I tried to join the Nazi party, mate, they threw me out after 2 weeks. Couldn't get salute right. But it now means I can go for all those jobs that I've wanted, like shorthand typist and race caller. And they're off and racing and... oh, they're finished. And I've always wanted to be the first disabled person on the moon. You might call it a spacetronaut. One small step for man, one giant limp for mankind. Or I could even be the captain of the USS Eddy Prize and its 5-year mission to boldly go where no veggie has gone before. Now you think about this, somewhere in the universe there is a planet entirely populated of disabled aliens. They call it the planet with no steps. Think about it though. Why is it that all UFO sightings happen within a 500 kilometre radius of a Sherda workshop? All right, I admit it. I'm an alien from the planet Vegemite. You know me as Steady Eddy, but my real name is... which loosely translated means Rose Hancock. I know what you're thinking today. You're thinking this guy on stage is full of shit. You are, aren't you? You're thinking he is not an alien at all. I can prove it to you that we are. Remember Close Encounters of the Third Kind? Ship comes down on the mountain. What's the first thing that comes out? A ramp. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever noticed when you really, really like him, pissed, shit-faced, that footpaths attack you? It's true. After years and years of spitting on him, pissing on him, spewing on him, they wait for you. They see you coming out of the pub and they just look up at you and they go, psst, psst, hey, Kirby. This guy's pissed, let's bloody trip him up. And you know when you get back to your feet about 2 hours later, your mind just pisses off because you start treating the footpath like a human being. You're standing there going, yeah? Come on. have a go. Get up! Or you get the other kind of drunk, is a crying drunk. He just stands there and goes, "You bastard! Why'd you do that for? These were a new pair of jeans." And you go to bed and forget what happens. But the footpath never does. Because the next day he sent one of his mates after me. A really big rock. With a bloody bad attitude problem. He just looked at me. And so I looked at him. You know what the cunning little bastard did? Crash tackled me. And stole me wallet. The coppers gave chase down an alleyway, across railway tracks, typical coppers. They lost him inside a quarry. Speaking about coppers here, I was going down the highway the other day doing 180 in the 60 zone. And I got pulled up by this highway patrolman. And you know, highway patrolmen are complete and utter imbeciles. They are, it's a well-documented fact. So this copper, he walks up to me in his big tough voice and he goes, "Excuse me, son, you mind stepping out of that wheelchair?" I said, "Yeah, sure, what's your name, Jesus?" Let's go back to my younger days for a minute, because what was that? What's your name? Sorry? Tina. No, just sorry. When I was young, I used to be in a gang. Yeah, we were called the West Side Wobblers. Man, we were tough. We used to give up our bus seats for young fit people. We were that tough. We used to wear our baseball caps the right way around. We were so tough, we would sell pills. God, I hate it when that happens. It's like your body stays spastic and your mouth goes normie. How tough, mate? We were so tough we would sell pens at roadside accidents. Hey, come on, it was a great way to recruit new members. And every Saturday night we get dressed up in our gang's uniform, black leather dribble bib, and matching stovepipe calipers. And we'd head off down to the local milk bar. Hey mate, we were so tough we shook our own milkshakes. We had no bloody choice. Yeah, and then after a few yeah, a few of them too, son. Oh God. After a few stiff, thick shakes. If you think I'm going to repeat that, you can bloody forget it. We'd head off downtown to meet our arch rivals, the vicious, bloodthirsty, neo-Nazi East Bankstown Junior Blind Society. Man, they were tough. Their guide dogs were pit bull terriers. I mean, they used to gangbang lampposts. Let's face it, they didn't know the difference, did they? But we always used to win the fights because we spiked the dog's power with LSD. The last time we saw them, they were still on the roundabout. Being chased by a pack of randy lampposts. But I eventually had to leave the gang because I broke the unspoken code. The reason it was unspoken was because no one could pronounce it. It was, so I still don't know what it was. But I broke it. It may have something to do with me having an interphysical relationship with a normal woman, a normette. She came up to me one night and said, "Eddie, walk this way." I said, "Darling, if I could walk that way, I wouldn't have an act." So since I've been back in town, I've been going out a lot. Toward trendy nightclubs. And the other night I actually won the dance competition. Funny thing was, I wasn't even entered. I was on my way to the bar. This girl came up to me and said, "Would you like to come back to my place for a bit of sex?" I said, "Oh, righty, yeah." Got to the moment of truth. She said, "Do you wear condoms?" I said, "Nah." Hate the smell of burning rubber. Come on. I believe in safe sex and condoms and everything, but I don't actually wear them because I come 3 times before I get the bloody thing on. And speaking about nightclubs, have you seen the dickheads that go there? They're all standing around in their Gucci suits, you know, with all the babes around them, and I don't know why. It can't be their conversational skills, because all they do is stand there and go, "Hey." I think the women just hang around and see if they can actually finish a sentence. And you know, they get slapped. I can't believe it. This guy got slapped for groping a woman. And all he had to say is, "What? What'd I do?" And immediately after that, he pulled out his mobile phone, because he's a total wanker. And he started talking in it for 15 minutes. And then it rang. You see, the Olympic Games were on not so long ago, right? Did you know Elton John sang the theme song, "I'm Still Standing"? They had some really great events, like the hop, skip and trip, synchronised swimming for epileptics. But my personal favourite is a wheelchair long jump. Because I'm the guy that stands at the end of a runway and shoves a stick in their space as they go past. Coincidentally, I was the first one to break the 4-day mile. And I hold the world record in the standing event, 10.3 seconds. Anyway, after the Olympics, I was feeling good about myself, so I went up to Queensland. And I really love Queensland. It's the only state in Australia where I'm faster than they are. And while I was up there, I did a charity gig for the House with No Steps. They were raising money for a bus with no wheels. I flew up there on the plane with no wings. It was a very bumpy ride, man. We had the pilot with no license. But there was one good aspect of the trip. I got the hostie with no morals. Just a passing thought about aeroplanes. When I get on an aeroplane, everyone stares at me. I don't know why. Is it the way I walk? The way I talk? Or is it the pilot's uniform that I'm wearing? And while I was up there, I decided to book myself into a health farm. Didn't do much good, did it? I wanted to give up smoking. Not because I was scared of lung cancer. Nah. I was just sick of burning myself in the ear. I mean, it was really disgusting, I tell you. I was up to 40 smokes a day. Mind you, I dropped 30 of them. And I wanted to change other things about my life, like my eating habits. Just for starters, I wanted to get more of it in my mouth. And up there, I couldn't believe it. There's no eggs, there's no milk, there's no sugar, there's none of the good stuff. No alcohol, no cigarettes. I was bloody dirty, mate. How dirty? Like even James Scott lost in the Himalayas got 2 bloody chocolate bars. And all they would feed you is tofu. Have you ever tasted this shit? Tofu crepes, tofu rissoles, tofu Mexican style. And on Sunday, big treat, we had baked tofu and Yorkshire tofu and tofu. And they would do things to really piss you off. Like wake you up at 6 in the morning and be happy. Like someone would, a nice frizzy little blonde bimbo come in and go, "Hello, how are you?" It's like... And one of their morning rituals, right, was to give everyone a great big hug. Piss off. I don't want to be up at 6 in the morning, let alone giving some fat shiller a hug. And then they would really piss you off. They would take you on, how much, mate? They would take you on a brisk 1 kilometre walk. Before breakfast. Anyway, after lunch when I got back, it was time for aqua aerobic. They got fit, I got mouth to mouth. But I shouldn't bag them too much because they did change a few exercises for me, like water polio, star slumps, and of course jogging on the spot. Bullshit. It was wobbling on the spots. I tell you, like I've known most of the staff here for quite a while now, and they're all worried about me because they think I'm turning into a bit of an alcoholic because I'm always buying schooners. But that's so I can have a middy when I get back to my table. And like they've been trying to educate me, right? They've taken me to different places. They took me to the horse races the other day, but I would only bet on the handicapped horses. Well, I figured they needed all the help they could get. I went to the greyhounds one night, never been before. I went up to the bookie, I said, listen, mate, I have $200 on the rabbit. Before I go, I just want to ask you one question. Why is it that all you guys go to the pub?
Drugs, get pissed.
Yeah, I know. You go to the pub, you want to get pissed. You have 20 schooners, and why? Just so you can walk like me. I've got to go now because the nursing home's closing shortly. So remember, whatever you do in your life, no matter how far you go, if you can't be straight as possible, be bent like me. Okay, Norm, it's time to go to the Steady Eddy. It's easy, you know. Shake your head, make your body wobble. Twist your feet, now you gotta hobble. Give a little clap and have a little nap. And it's ready, steady, and go.
Ready, steady, Eddie, let's go. Ready, steady, let's go.
You don't have to be part of the herd. Move your body like Thunderbird. Swinging your step, bouncing your blubber. Drop to the floor like you're made of rubber. Try and stand up straight, then dribble down your date. Then it's ready, steady, go. try and stand up straight and dribble down your date, and it's ready, steady, go! Lucy in the sky with calipers. Like me, it ain't drastic when you're spastic, it's fantastic. Keep it on the wraps. We're all got handicaps, and it's ready, steady, go. Keep it on the wraps. We're all got handicaps, and it's ready, steady, and go. Keep it on the wraps. We're all got handicaps, and it's ready, steady, and go. And so on, then we back up again. Her hair hung like mist on the crest of a mountain. She danced through my heart like a soft summer breeze. With her in my arms, I could run in the sunlight, stand proud in her beauty, as tall as a tree.
With her, I don't dribble no more.
No, I don't dribble.
With her, I don't dribble no more.
I really don't dribble. Caressing my soul like a moth round a candle, like soft glowing embers, I glowed in her smile. Her voice was like music that soared from a whisper. She played in my mind like an innocent child.
With her, I don't dribble no more.
I don't dribble.
With her, I don't dribble no more. With her, I don't dribble no more.
No, I don't.
With her, I don't dribble no more.
Love conquers all. Be a midget or 6 feet tall. Love disables everything, and I take out of love desire. The day that the angels dropped by to take her, she held my hand as they dragged her away. But nothing comes easy and nothing's forever. Since God took her from me, I dribble all day.